All right, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of PT Footy Podcast. This took a while to set up, but finally we're here and we're ready to talk some football. With me here today, I got Alex,
What is going on, everybody?
Kevin,
What's up, everybody?
and Kyle.
Hey guys.
All right, exciting first week of football. Let's get this underway. So today's agenda we got Porto, Sporting, and Benfica. As obvious, that is the order. Got more to talk about Porto because I'm gonna preview the Roma game with you, Kevin. Then we got some transfers, rumors. There's Romário, especially for Sporting. Not much on Benfica. Just that they played the match, but we'll get on to that. So let's start with Porto because I went for the order of the games, just like they happened this week. Porto played on Friday, 8:30 local. They beat Rio by 3 goals to 1. Corona, Herrera, and Andre Silva were the scorers. So the lineup was like this: Casillas in goal, Maxi, Felipe, Marcano, and Alex Telles are the back four. Danilo and Andre Herrera, and then the front three: Corona, Andre Silva, and Otavio. Kevin, me, Kyle, and you watched the game, but I'll start with you because you're the Portista. What did you think of it?
I thought it was a great game. We played very well. It was a little shaky back there in the defense, but overall we did have a good performance. I was very pleased. Uh, Besides that goal that Ryuov scored, there was a breakdown of communication back there, so we need to tidy up in the defense. But overall, the attack was great. I really enjoyed watching. Some nice goals too. I'm just very, very happy.
I gotta give props to Nuno Capucho for that goal. It looked like he had studied the way that Nuno Espírito Santo set up for the corners. I'm not sure if you thought of that as well, but it looks like he noticed some type of failing in the marking, and he took advantage of that. I'm not sure if you agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously set pieces, these teams like Rio Ave and all the other lower teams below us, they practice set pieces because that's pretty much like the only chances they'll get, either that or a counter. So, props to them for executing a nice set piece there and heading it in. So, yeah, that was smart on his part, and kudos to them.
And I'm not sure if you agree with me on this as well, but I felt like they tried to play some very good attacking football. I mean, they were pressuring you, starting from your goalkeeper, really from Casillas. They weren't letting you start the play from the back as big teams normally do. So I think Rio Ave gave you a hard-fought win.
Yeah, they did. They had some chances. For a while there, they had more possession. Um, and they did, like I said, they did have good chances to score. They did press though against us, and I thought it was interesting to see how Rio had so much possession for so long. I'm not used to seeing that. Usually it's Porto with all the possession, but I guess maybe they were comfortable with Rio having the possession and just defending for a little bit. I don't know what the strategy was, and but afterwards we started pressing a little bit more. But for a stretch there, um, Rio did have the most possession, which I'm not used to seeing, and that's very different. So I thought that was a little strange.
I was a bit concerned at first, obviously, because I wanted to see Rio Ave still points away from you guys of the way that they were pressing, because they were pressing in such a high manner that if you guys went through a counter, you almost had 100% chance of scoring because they had like about what like 6 men right in front of you. So then they had about like 4 players in the back, and one time you actually managed to get in a counter attack. I think it was Otavio that crossed it into Andre Silva, but Cássio was there. Does this also show that Nuno Espírito Santo is comfortable playing counter attack football?
I think so because even in the preseason, the last preseason game we had against Villarreal, and I touched on this the last podcast, it was the same thing. And I don't know if he's just comfortable letting the other teams have possession as long as we can hit on the counter. Or defend well. So I'm not really sure because even the defense is a little shaky. So I don't really understand the thinking behind that, but it worked out for us in the end, and that's all that matters is we got the 3 points.
Obviously, first game of the season, but you've already seen him play before. But he was one of the guys that started this match. What did you think of Philippe?
Philippe, he's getting there. He's adapting each game that goes by. So um, he wasn't bad. I thought he was pretty good for us. He had a couple of good clearances there and a couple of good tackles. So I'm pleased with his performance. He played very well. So I can't really complain about him.
I thought he was a little bit shaky in a way that he
Really?
into challenges maybe a little bit too early. I'm guessing he's used to a bit of more aggressive football. I know that I think he was who was the commentary for that game? Freitas Lobo. I think that he mentioned that a little bit as well on how he slid in a little bit too much. But overall, I think he did well. He did his job well enough. What did you also think of Alex Telles?
I thought he played a good match. The ejection was totally unjust, and I have to disagree with the ejection there. That play where he got the second yellow. Yeah, he did bring his hand back, but it was more theatrics more than anything. Um, who was the Who off player again? I forgot who it was. Heldon? Was it Heldon?
Probably Elvin. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So like he got like a little tap in the face. That's all it was. A little tap, unintentional. He was just putting his arms back to try to like shield the ball. So that was more theatrics than anything. If anybody should have got a yellow, it should have been Heldon for diving in theatrics because that's not enough for a foul. So he dove, screamed, and what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that it's not. It's something that it's weird because it's super common to see, and you never know when the player actually does it on purpose or when he's just shielding the ball, as you say. Because I believe that, from time to time, the player actually puts his arm, right next to the other player's face to hurt him. But I mean, if we're gonna call all of them, then but probably one player gets sent off every game because of that. So I mean, I sort of agree with you, but if the ref saw it as a foul, it should have been a straight red anyway. So I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. If he thinks that Alex Telles did that on purpose to hurt the player, it has to be a red card, as you know. He gave him a second yellow. I think he was just making up for the penalty, but we'll get to it in a moment's time. Just yeah. Sorry, Kevin. Keep going.
No, I don't see why you would make up that penalty call because in my eyes it's a penalty. We'll get into that after, like you said.
Penalty, yeah, not the penalty itself, but yeah, we'll discuss that in a bit.
All right,
Uh,
but yeah, well, you mean the actual card with the penalty? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, I was gonna talk about that, but that's after a little bit because I need Kyle's opinion on this as well, so you can keep going with Alex Davis.
Yeah, he played well for us. Now we're gonna have Liu next, for the next match. So, um, Tell's just gonna play tomorrow. So crossing my fingers for tomorrow. Hopefully we get a good result. But yeah, I was impressed with him. He's not more attacking like Layun is. Well, last game at least, but he defended very well. I was impressed with his defending, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword because Layun can't defend, but he can attack. Telsh can defend, but he doesn't really attack. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, what do you want to do? I guess it all depends on the strategy of the game and who
yeah.
you're playing. Do you want to attack more? Or do you want to defend?
It reminds me of André Almeida and Nelson Semedo with Benfica, same thing.
Hmm.
Um, Last but not least, Otavio. What do you think of his game as well?
Oh, the kid is awesome. I've said this for the last couple of weeks. Very impressed with him. Um, and it seems like him and Andres Silva have a very good understanding of each other. Andres Silva keeps making that run
Hmm.
behind the defender's shoulders there, where it's like a chip pass. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we've
Because
seen
the last game um, with Villarreal, it was the same thing twice. One of them he scored, and it was the second time that he did it. They scored, and the first time they just missed. But against Rio Ave, it didn't work out because Andres Silva shot didn't work out for the best. But that's a thing that um, it's going to be a little bit predictable after a while because defenses are going to start noticing that, and teams go back and look at tape, so they'll be stopping that. So, but he's very creative for us. I wouldn't mind him shifting over to the midfield if Rafa Silva does come, or even if he doesn't come, and Brahimi stays. You can put Brahimi on the wing or put somebody else on the wing, whoever you want, and bring Otavio over to the middle, which I wouldn't mind because he's a very creative player. So yeah, very very happy with Otavio.
All right. I just want to quickly say that, in my opinion, I thought the game was very entertaining. I mean, the Supertaça was something to make our mouths water. Just thinking, if this is gonna be the whole season, holy hell, we're in for a big ride. And this game just confirmed it. Rio Ave were attacking. They were trying to get the win, which is surprising to me. And even after they went down one man, they still tried to keep getting chances. There were a couple of crosses that if were met, they probably could have scored. So overall, it was a game where Porto were winning 3-1. And Kevin, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but you knew that at any moment it could be 3-2, just like that. I'm not sure if you agree with me.
No, I agree with you. Rio Ave was threatening us for certain parts of the game. So, um, you know, even though leading 3-1, a team can a team like Rio Ave can make it 3-2. Then they play with more confidence, and that'll like they'll try to get the draw because that's what they care mostly, really. At home, they want to get the win against the big teams, obviously, but whenever they play any of the big three, by the big three, I mean Porto, Benfica, and Braga. No, not Sporting. I'm just kidding, Alex. No, but when they play the big three, that they try to get that point, and if they can get a chance to score first and try to hold on to the lead, they will. So, had they made it 3-2, it would have been very interesting. But yeah, hats off to Rio Ave the way they played because I thought they played a great game and it was an entertaining game.
Yeah, if they're gonna keep playing like this throughout the whole season, then they probably could get themselves into a European spot, no doubt. Kyle, you also watched the game. Without touching upon the penalty or anything, what did you think of the game overall?
Yeah, like you said earlier, it was an entertaining game with both sides, uh, both balanced and both attacking, um, and some pretty nice goals too. Like Herrera's goal was a screamer. Marcelo's goal, that was perfect, like a perfect corner. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure I recall you saying you didn't like the Corona goal, Peter, but I didn't find it that bad. It was.
I thought he got lucky with it so much that he was surprised he went in, more like that. Not taking anything away from it. I thought it was a great goal, but just weird how he
Yeah,
scored it.
I think it was just nice acrobatics by him, and I think it was a nice goal. But Andre Silva's goal, penalty, um, it was deflect, or I mean, the goalie saved it, and then he got the rebound. But yeah, it was
Hmm.
a pretty entertaining game, and both cheap keepers were challenged throughout the game, and yeah, entertaining game.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention. I'm glad that you brought Corona's goal up because I almost forgot. I don't want to take anything away from Herrera, and I really, really like him. But I think that his goal is mostly due to how much space Rio gave him. And I think that comes from them trying to play some more attacking football. They let themselves down on defense, and Kevin, I don't want to bash on Herrera in any way, but do you also think that his goal comes from the amount of space a player of his caliber has? Because when you're playing against the big clubs, you always put a player next to one of the big guys. For example, when you're playing Benfica, you have a guy on Jonas. When you're playing Sporting, you have a guy on João Mario. And Herrera at the moment had a little bit too much time and too much space, and he scored that wonder goal.
Yeah, when I was watching the game, I didn't get to watch it live. I got to watch it on a DVR. Um, when I seen it in real time though, without looking at the replay, and I seen the amount of space he had, I knew he was going to shoot it. And he's got a great shot from outside the box. You guys know that yourselves. He scored against Benfica last season
Great
on the
goal.
edge of the box. Huh?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Great goal.
it was, it was.
It was.
Uh, but anyway, yeah, it was a fantastic goal, regardless of the space that he had and the time that he had to shoot. Like just like the accuracy on the shot was just incredible. Like out of the
Far
goalie's
down and
reach.
everything.
Yeah, it was like unbelievable. It was a fantastic goal, and I'm usually the first one to criticize Herrera, but I gotta give him credit for the way he played against Lyon. I was actually impressed with him. So maybe this is a new Herrera we're gonna see this season. I hope so because he's been mediocre the last couple of seasons, except for the big games, like when they play Benfica. He usually shows up, but um, no, I was very happy with the way he played.
Hmm. Now, the penalty call. You already said that you believe it's a penalty, so I'm just gonna ask Kyle's opinion. Whether you think it's a penalty or not, Kyle. What do you think?
Uh, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough decision, but I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, that is not a penalty because Marcelo kind of tripped on his. It looked like he kind of tripped on himself, which he fell onto. Who was it? Otavio or Andreso? Yeah, Otavio. And it kind of looked like he fell onto him, and it kind of hit his foot at the back, and then he fell, and then the penalty was given. But I'm sure Kevin has a different opinion.
Uh,
Well,
uh,
yeah, I have something to add actually to this penalty call.
all right. Before
Um,
before you do it, if I can, I just say that I think that it is a penalty because he was trying to catch up to Otavio. I think that's the big thing. He had his arm next to Otavio because he was trying to catch up to him, and when he tripped up. He pushed Otavio as well, and he brought him down. And I think it was a definite penalty. Go on, Kevin. Sorry.
all right, now I'm gonna give you my honest opinion because I'm not biased. Unless the rules changed, I don't know. But inside the box, it is a foul. Clearly, it's a foul. He pushed him from the back. Now, watching the replay, and I've watched it a couple of times, and this is the conclusion that I came up with. As Otavio is running into the box just before he gets in, Marcelo is already making contact with Otavio. He's starting to like grab his arm and stuff. Now, I don't know if they changed it, but isn't the rule if you're running into the box and there's starting to be contact, and then even if there's contact in the box, it's where the original foul was?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No.
No?
I know this part a little bit more than you guys. No, it is not. Um, it is on most cases when it's grabbing or pushing or pulling, it's when it ends. So if imagine that I'm a defender, right, and I have an attacker right in front of me, I start pushing him outside the box, but he keeps running, keeps running, and then he falls down inside the box. It's a penalty. Everything that's shirt pulling, pushing the player when it ends is when you call it. So yeah, Kevin,
Yeah, but if from outside the box, right? Say you push me, right, and I'm running and I fall inside the box. That's not a penalty because the foul is outside the box.
yeah. I'm talking about more like shirt pulling. If you start pulling a shirt of a player outside the box, but he only fouls inside, it's a penalty.
All right, because I'm just trying to give an unbiased opinion here. That's from what I saw. Like I said, I don't know what the rule is. Like I said, if I think that it might be like if he did like the initial like what I'm saying like as he was running to the box, I don't think it was a foul because he started putting his hands on him. Now, if he started pulling him outside the box as a foul, I think that it should be a foul outside the box because, like I said, inside the box it was a clear penalty because he pushed him from the back. But as I watched it, it wasn't a foul in the beginning when he started putting his hands on him. But I just think that the refs need to keep an eye out for that this season because it's going to be tricky. If a player starts grabbing outside the box and you fall inside the box, that's not a penalty. In my opinion, that should be a free kick, like right outside the box.
Yeah, but the rules are rules, and you can't change that. And also, you noticed because obviously you weren't doing the game, so people noticed that it was me commentating. And when I said I disagreed with the red card, but I said that the referee has the rules in his favor. I'm sure some people do not know this, but there was a certain area which would be right in front of goal where a player was taken down. It was a straight red. Like 5 years ago, always straight red. But where Otavio fell down a couple of years ago, it would have been a yellow. But since they changed the area of when it's a red card to the sides, basically everything that's diagonal on goal, it's a red card. It's in a red card position. So the referee gave the red card. He has the rules in his favor, but I thought at best it should have been a yellow because sometimes referees just have to think of the game itself as well. And we're talking about Rio Ave already 2-1 down, about to be 3-1 down, presumably. And then you send off a player that didn't really commit a sending off of offense. Man, I'm missing the word here. Offense, yeah. So I thought it was a little bit harsh on it. But Kevin, do you think it was a red card?
Yeah, I mean, he was the last defender. As far as I knew, all along with the rules, if you're the last defender and you bring somebody down in the box and it's an imminent goal scoring chance, which that was, it's a red card. And, it is a good penalty call. Thank you for clarifying the rules. So it is the right call, the penalty, and it was the right call for the red. I think he messed up on the red to Telge, and that's just my honest and unbiased opinion. Um, that's all I can say about that.
Yeah, like I was saying on Alex Telles, if you're gonna send him off because you thought that he did that on purpose, you probably would have sent off at least one player a game. But Kyle, up to you now. You thought that it wasn't a penalty, but given the fact that the ref called a penalty, do you think it should have been a red or a yellow?
Um, I think it should have been a yellow. Actually, I think it should have been a red because the way the referee saw the penalty, like the referee gave the red,
Mm-hmm.
and because it was from behind anyway, it would have been a red because that's, I guess, the rules of football. If it's from behind, it's a red. So,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, it's a
Uh,
red.
yeah. Uh, Kevin, you like I said before, you used a lot of counter-attack football, also long balls. I noticed you guys played a little bit of long balls. What did you think of that strategy?
I've never really been a fan of the long ball um, strategy. I like more direct, mixed passes through the middle, not through the wings. I don't like just keep tapping the ball forward and trying to play it over the defender's head. So uh, I'm not really a fan of that. And Nuno was trying different things and seeing what he could do with the team and see what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. And again, it's the first game of the season and they're kind of still in a little bit of preseason mode, trying to figure it out. But now that you got the first game out, you're gonna know what strategy more or less you're gonna want to do. Now he could choose to do that next game because we're home to Estoril. So, Estoril didn't start off the season the best. Um, but, they could be in preseason mode still, not like, you know what I mean? Like, not literally, but like
Yeah, yeah, I know what you
still
mean.
trying to figure it out because they got a big game the third week. So, um, gotta start tidying things up, get the defense tightened up back there, and we'll see if they're gonna be adding any new players because there's been transfer rumors like crazy. Everybody knows what's been going on the last couple of days with
Yeah.
two potential players coming over. So that could change things too. So we'll have to wait and see.
Um, yeah, I was gonna touch upon the defense, but first I wanted to say something or point something out to you that's I think it's very clear now. Uh, Andre is not the same key player that he was with Rui Vitória back at Guimarães. I don't know what happened to him. He started off the season well last year. Then he got injured, came back from the injury, and hasn't looked like himself uh, for a long now. Well, for a while now. What do you make of that?
He was in good form, injured, so I can't really explain what's going on with him. I thought he played pretty good for us too against Rio Ave, so he's not the same as he was, like you said. And as far as him being in Guimarães, that's a totally different team and a totally different scheme and the strategy of what they want to do. So he was the captain there, and he was their go-to guy. Like he was a star player. So um, he has a different role here. So that could be part of it too. Like I said, we have a different playing style than Guimarães does, and Rui Vitória is a great coach. I always thought he was a great coach, even with Guimarães.
Yeah, that's
So
what I wanted to ask
different.
you. Is there merit on Rui Vitória for getting everything out of Andre what Lopetegui and Nuno Espírito Santo have yet to do?
Of course. Rui Vitória is a great coach, like I said. I even at one point, when Paulo Bento was out the door for the national team, I suggested his name. Uh, he he won Taça de Portugal against Benfica. They were losing 1-0, and they came back and they won 2-1. So, and it was kind of close to the end of the game, if you remember that a couple of years ago.
Yes, of course I remember.
So, and I think he's a very intelligent coach, and I would have loved to have him at Porto, but these guys definitely have a good coach. Now, when he went to Benfica, I'm just going to say this real quick. In the preseason that they had, it was tough, and I didn't think that it was going to work out. I was actually shocked that they were having such negative results. Granted, it's only preseason, but still, like, they had a really, really hard time. And even the beginning of the season, they had a very, very tough time. And people were already writing them off, and it was going to be the Porto Sporting. They were both up there at the top. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't know what he said to them, what he did, but I got to give credit to the guy. He's a very smart man, very good coach, and these guys definitely have a good coach. These guys should be very proud and happy of who you got.
I mean, he's not that good.
Alex, be quiet. You're saying that because you have Jorge Jesus.
Yeah,
He choked in his
yeah.
first season with you guys. He choked, all right? So,
All right, Alex, you got time.
Wait, I remember all the hashtag Rui Victoria out.
You
When we
almost
smacked
never
you
a
guys,
part of it, so you don't even try.
Oh, but
Don't
Kyle
even
was
try.
there. I know Kyle
Since
was.
day one, since day one, I was with Rui
I
Vitória.
still
Don't even
remember
try.
when it was halftime of the game that we smacked you guys in the luge.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle hung up the phone call with me and he wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the day. So,
Proof?
and he was
Proof?
all hashtag Rui
When was
Victoria out
this?
as well.
When was this?
When we smacked you guys in the luge.
We're not gonna get into this, guys. We're gonna go on a tangent if we do.
And
Kevin.
I remember when we beat you 1-0 in the Alvalade. I messaged you and you're like, message me. Any message after this point, I will be ignoring.
Okay,
never
guys. Shush it. No, seriously. Kevin, your defense still a little bit shaky. Do you need another guy over there, or is it just part of the learning curve that they're still gonna have?
they have to figure something out on the defense. I don't know. They have to look in-house. I don't think they're going to go out and spend more money on a defender because they're trying to get a midfielder and a winger. So they just got to deal with what they have back there, I guess. I mean, there's nothing really to add to that besides they're not going to buy another defender. I'm pretty sure of that.
All right. Indy, Hernani, Abubakar, Brahimi, and Josué still don't have their future decided. I know Josué is probably going to go out on loan. I think I heard that to Galatasaray, but I'm not sure if the deal's done. Abubakar didn't train again today, so I mean, he's probably on his way out. Brahimi, we're still not sure, but he's looking to be placed somewhere else. I've heard about 25 million is what Porto is asking, 25 to 30. Hernani and Indy probably on their way out as well. But nothing much to add to that. We've been discussing this all over last week. So now the new thing, I'm not going to start on Rafa, Kevin, not yet. I'm going to start with Oliver Torres first. And two questions, okay? It's a two-part question. First, what do you think of Porto signing Oliver? And secondly, FC Porto Global reported that Pinto Costa is the one overseeing the transfer and that he offered Layun. Now, why would you offer such a crucial player from your last season? I know that we discussed this last week, but I have to try and understand what a Portista is thinking about this deal of letting Layun go for Oliver Torres.
Well, I've tweeted it before to somebody who retweeted that, and my reply was that it's a stupid move because he's a left back. We need defenders, you know what I mean? And he's not that great of a defender, but he can help on the attack. So I don't know if that rumor is true. It could be just a rumor. But if they were going to include Layun in that deal, that would have been the stupidest move. I wouldn't have even approved of it in the first place. And it wouldn't make any sense. Why are you going to get rid of a defender, a left back, which are already short-handed as it is? The defense is already shaky as it is. Why get rid of a defender for a midfielder? If you're going to get rid of somebody, get rid of another midfielder that's not going to be of use to you. You know what I mean? That's my take on it.
Yeah, and what do you think of this transfer? If it does get completed, despite Layun or not, what do you think of signing Oliver Torres?
Um, he's not. I don't know if he's going to be the same Oliver from a few seasons ago. I haven't watched him enough with Atletico Madrid. I barely even watched them, so I don't even know how much time he's played with them, how much minutes per game he's even had, if he's even ever came in. I did see that people who do follow, they say that he just couldn't make a crack at the team, and he just kept falling down the pecking order. So um, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a lot of money. You know, he's not that creative. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but is he the player that we need? Is he creative enough for that much money? I don't know. That's tough. I want to
Honestly,
say no.
I think he's worth every single penny. I think he's a great player. He just doesn't fit into Atletico system. So, but I think he could do very well at Porto. And I don't know what you're talking about him not being creative. I think he's
I didn't say he
honestly
wasn't
too good
creative.
for
I didn't say it
Porto.
was a creative. I said not creative enough for what we need.
How
We have
much is the
Otavio for that.
how
He
much
can
is the
fill in that
price
spot.
tag?
What the price tag?
Yes.
15 million. But
Oh, that's a great deal, honestly.
okay. Kevin, he's not more creative than Otavio.
In my opinion, no.
I don't think so either. Okay. And all right, listen. If you sign Rafa, let's imagine for the 20 million, right? And then Oliver Torres for the 15 million. That's rumored. That's 35 million of Porto. With still having to sell players for big numbers. I, I don't know if you just want to add to your depth. I mean, obviously Rafa would be a tremendous signing, but is Oliver that needed that you would spend 15 million on him?
Absolutely not. Like I said, that's a lot of money for half of his rights there. So, oh boy, I don't know where they're even thinking about this. I know that a lot of deals, well, both of these deals are dependent on whether or not we pass Roma. So if we don't pass Roma, we are screwed. For a better term thereof, I didn't want to be vulgar because I could be vulgar. Uh, but yeah, we'll be screwed if we don't pass Roma, and there's a possibility of that happening. So it could be that these two deals could collapse. Maybe one of them might go through. If anybody is going to come between the two, I think that Rafa would come instead. Maybe they can come to, yeah, because maybe he can come to more of an agreement with Salvador. I don't think Atletico is going to take any BS. So
Yeah.
it'll that's a lot of money, man. 15 million for Oliver, who us Pretitians we really love him. He was great for us.
Mhm.
But man, he's prone to injury too. He hurt his shoulder just like being like pushed over. So oh man, that's tough. I like him. He's a great player, but we have a player to fill the position. We have Otavio. Bring him over to the midfield and save yourself the 15 million. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. My dad really likes Oliver Torres, but I think 15 million is a little bit too much. Now I want to touch on Rafa now. We're still Jesus Christ, this has been a very long transfer thing. I just wanted to end this transfer saga, but I was just thinking this. All right, from Benfica's perspective, there's not a lot of a big point on signing Rafa. I mean, I'd love to have him, but if we don't get him, we don't get him. It's fine. Now, Kevin, for the last 3 years though, Benfica's been champion. They've had a European finals and a good European run. Now, and I don't see Rafa choosing Porto over Benfica unless he's an actual Portista. Because thinking about just a professional, you know, perspective, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe you disagree with me, but we're talking about like let's even push it to last 5 years. Porto two campeonatos, Benfica three. Both teams with decent European runs, but Benfica a little bit better because they did manage to go to European finals. Uh, do you think that Rafa should choose Porto over Benfica?
Of course. Since from the time he was born, what year was he born? How old is he again? I forgot.
I think
It's
he's like 23,
20,
23.
23. Okay, so from the time that he was a baby till now, Porto has been the most prestigious team in Portugal. So why not choose them?
But my point is, unless he's a Portuguese, it doesn't really make sense because Benfica, and obviously I love to smash on Porto as much as I can, but this is just me trying to be serious here. Benfica's an uprising ever since 2009, and Porto has been on a downfall for the last since 2009. Why not? Since Jorge Jesus joined Benfica, Porto's been going downhill. I mean, I'm not sure if you completely agree with me. I know that you were tricampeões, but your championship titles weren't, besides Villas-Boas' run was amazing. But besides that, all the other championships that you won were close. You were close battles with Benfica, and joining a club on the uprising should be better for Rafa.
I don't
Can
think
I
Bruno.
quickly say something?
Go ahead.
From a neutral point of view, all right?
Yeah, okay.
So I get both your guys' points. What Kevin's saying, oh, the best club in the past, whatever, 30 years, whatever he likes to say. But I think it would be stupid if he doesn't join Benfica, just because they've been the champions 3 times in a row. They just made the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So I mean, unless Porto's offering more money, then I see him going to Benfica ahead of
The
Porto.
the hell are you
Okay.
smoking today?
Well, Kevin, it makes sense. I mean, you might not like it. I sure as hell wouldn't like it if he was Benfica, but it makes sense. He's joining a team on the uprising. If he does choose Benfica over Porto, that's why I think he'll be more plausible.
Nah, that's
For
not an
neutral,
uprising.
mate, come on.
Hold
We've
on.
had
Let me just correct myself. An uprising, well, back in like when the 2000s started and Sporting won the 2 out of the 3, they thought they were on the uprising, and that was pretty funny because
it's
they won
different,
two out
Kevin.
of three.
It's different.
No, I know what
That's
you're
different.
saying.
That's
I know what you're
Sporting.
saying.
Yeah, because it's different. Because starting, I told you
But we're
that
not on a
Benfica.
free fall though. That's my point. Like we're not
Are
on the
you
decline.
not?
No.
I'm
What
not sure.
about those 3 years in a row we didn't win back then?
What? The
What
3
about
years
the?
in a row. Big, but you had ah, just I don't want to go into. You had big name players though. You could have signed them up. Basically, any player in Portugal that 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 was playing in Portugal. If given the option to join Benfica, Porto, or Sporting, he would have gone to Porto because Porto were winning titles back and forth. I mean, you did go those 3 years without winning titles, but you were still the big guy.
And Peter
Well,
is gone.
All right, we
yeah,
lost
but
Peter, but I don't, Kevin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see him joining Porto unless he is a Portista. Then maybe.
Not sure what happened. Sorry. uh, are you guys saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying how Rafa's not gonna join Porto, but you know
Hmm.
what I would like to see? We come in, swoop him from under both your guys' noses,
Not
and
gonna.
welcome to Sporting.
yeah, yeah,
Not
okay.
gonna.
These guys are offering a player to pay for your
If he was
debt.
smart, he would join Sporting.
Listen
Yeah.
up. Okay. Finishing off my thought before I forget it. It was a different time, Kevin, because you had Mourinho, everybody wanted to join you guys, and since 2009, Benfica won the title. Then André Villas-Boas completely swooped the title. I mean, Jesus Christ, I think it was like 20 something points, off second place Benfica. So I mean, props to you guys. You won the title, fair enough, and no discussion about that. Then the year after that, that offside goal that caused a lot of controversial. I'm not gonna say it was a mistake that he did on purpose. He did a mistake, and Porto managed to win the title. Fair enough. And then the year after that, he took you guys to the jornada before the last one to capture the title on a 92nd minute goal. And I'm not taking anything away from Edson and Calvin, but it was luck. I mean, he could have just shot it and skied it, and Porto would never won that title, and Benfica would be tetracampeões right now. So you know what I'm talking about here, Kevin. I think that you guys could be on a free fall because you're not having any big name players nor big name coaches. I mean, no offense to Espírito Santo, but he hasn't done anything that players go like, oh my god, Porto signed Nuno Espírito Santo. If I have an option, I'm obviously gonna go for them.
Was he not sacked by Valencia?
It was, but I don't think it was fully his fault. I think Valencia had been on a downfall as well ever since Peter Lim started to put a lot of money in there, and then basically just getting the money back from them. It's a big mess out there. But
Well,
Kevin,
yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. I disagree with, yeah, we're on a decline a little bit. I don't think it's a free fall. That's a little harsh to say. The last time it happened, where we
you
did win three in a row,
know what I
I
meant.
know it was a different time. And I understand it was a different time, but 3 years without a championship is 3 years without a championship. It doesn't matter if you had a really good team, if you had a shitty team. You can always bounce back. And they're rebuilding clearly. So, um, fingers crossed and hope for the best. And Nuno's not a bad coach. He can be good for us. We need somebody um, who's got that passion for the team. And Villas-Boas, when we got him, he wasn't a big name coach either.
Yeah,
So he was unproven. So Villas-Boas proved himself, and I think that Nuno might possibly do the same. Um, but you want to talk about lucky championships, and I'm not taking nothing away from you guys either. These guys won last season fair and square. The last couple of seasons, these guys played great, deserved it, whatever. But we all have to recognize that if you can only win the title is because Brian Ruiz missed that wide open net, and
obviously that also had impact. And I agree with you, Kevin.
you can compare that
Um,
to a 90-second goal from Kelvin.
yes,
You know,
yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with you there. You have a point, but yeah. So Rafa probably is going to choose Porto. That's what the press says. I'm not really bothered if he doesn't join us, but if he joined us, I'd be very excited because he's a tremendous player. All right, now a quick preview of the Roma game and just a tad bit more in depth on Estoril. Those are your next two games.
Um, just quickly, I hope we pass Roma. We can do it. I believe we can do it. I'm pretty sure we'll get a good result. Even if we do tie 0-0 at home against Roma, that's a great result because then we can go on the road and try to do something with the away goals rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the game against Estoril, I'm pretty sure that's going to be 3 points. I'm not guaranteeing 3 points. I'm just saying, pretty sure we're going to get 3 points there. They're off to a bad start, Estoril. They could
Mm-hmm.
bounce back, but they just lost against Feirense, so things are looking better for us in that game at least. But it's going to be tough tomorrow against Roma.
Last thing, who's Roma's biggest threat to you?
Honestly, I don't even know who's on the
Salah?
team.
Maybe Salah?
Maybe the striker. Yeah, I haven't done my homework on them. I'm not really scared of them or worried about them, but there's a
Okay.
possibility that they can knock us out.
Yeah, they could surprise you. Okay, obviously, deep down, I don't mind if you guys don't go through, but over here publicly, I'm gonna go out and say wish you good luck and see if you can go through, because better for Portugal's coefficients. I mean, I don't
Thank
mind you
you.
guys passing the group stage, but if you go out on the round of 16, I won't be mad either. That's as far as it can go.
All right, that's fair enough.
All right, so moving on to Sporting now. Alex, you guys played Marítimo 1-0. Coates and Brian Ruiz scored. In my opinion, Sporting were overall the team that played more comfortably. I'm not going to say better. Played more comfortably out of the big three. Anyway, you had Patricio in goal, João Pereira, Coates, Schmidt, and Jefferson across the back. William, Adrian, João Mario, and Gelson. Brian Ruiz and Alan Ruiz up front. Obviously, what did you think of the game, and what did you think of Maritim's approach?
I thought we were definitely the team that dominated that game. We look like we sh like we look like the team that should get the 3 points, and that's what happened. But I gotta give a quick props to João Pereira. I was a bit nervous when he started, but he was one of the probably the best defender, if not one of the best defenders on the pitch, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, Maritimo, they're decent. They hit a couple nice counterattacks. They had a few chances like where they hit the crossbar, and then they had another chance where I think they just missed the ball or something like that, or we cleared it. And then they had a chance where they just didn't get their shot off, and Patricio got there. So yeah, they're dangerous. Can't take nothing away from them. But as I said before, we looked like the much better team. Gotta give another props to Gelson Martins. I praised him in our group chat saying how good he is, and he proved it there in that game. I know Peter, you don't really like him, right?
I don't like his end product. I don't like his end product.
Well, you got to say though, you watched the game, right?
Hmm.
He played very good in that game.
He played well. He
If he
played
plays
well.
like that for the rest of the season, then we'll not be missing João Mario,
Yeah,
who had a shocking game. Shocking
exactly.
game.
Thank you for getting ahead of me right here. I can ask you this right now. Gelson's Romario replacement?
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. We don't even need to buy anybody.
Hmm.
But I was slightly disappointed with JJ because I wanted to see Melly play, but I mean, I guess there's lots of time to
I don't
see
think
him
he was.
play.
Wait, was he on the bench or was he not registered? I'm pretty sure he wasn't registered.
I'm not sure.
Maybe he wasn't because this was like last minute before we started the podcast. Benfica finally registered the new, and they got him like 3 weeks ago. So I'm not sure if Melly has been registered yet. Good point, Kyle.
He was actually decent in a friendly though. Like his debut, he was actually okay, but he just flops on the ground a lot. Like he dives a bit. But yeah, like I said before, we deserve the 3 points. I'm excited to go into week 3, smash Porto. And then you guys will be hearing Kevin cry on the podcast, and that'll be entertaining. So
Smash Porto, you're out of your mind. I can't wait. Oh my god, I can't wait. It won't come fast enough.
Oh, I
Almost. One
can't
more
wait for that
weekend.
game
One
too.
more weekend.
I can't wait either. So yeah, your defense was shaky, Alex. You were lucky not to
yeah,
concede.
we need
What
to
do you
sign
think was
one
the
more
main
center
point
though.
of that? What did you think was the main point of that? Because I was surprised that you thought João Pereira uh, played well. I mean, I'm not nothing against the guy, but you weren't really praising him on preseason. But what was the main point of your defense looking shaky? Is it just that, like I asked with Kevin, that things aren't, that there's still a learning curve to them, or?
I don't really know because we've had the same coach. Yeah, not the tactics haven't changed too much. Like we play the same as we did last season, and Semedo and Quataj played last season as well. So I don't really know what it is. Quataj, I mean, we need to replace him somehow. He's not been very good. Um, but that's about it. Quataj is the point that if we replace him, then we could win the title. If not, then I don't know. Maybe we could challenge, but I mean, he's the shaky part. He might have scored, but he's still not that good.
All right. I'm not sure if we're still on air though. I just noticed something happened, and my computer's all frozen. But we'll keep going as if we were live, I guess, just for a moment
Yeah,
till
it
I can.
says it says live for me right now.
Yeah,
So
it
Yeah,
still
it
says
says
live.
live for me as well, so we're gonna keep going until something
I'll
happens.
verify that, Peter. I'll verify that. Just give me a minute, okay?
Okay, my computer's all frozen. I got some weird pixels on my computer right now. I'm not sure what's happening. I might not be able to finish off the host.
if not, then we'll just do it again.
Yeah, I might have to hang this call up on my computer because I think my computer froze.
Well, we're still live, so let's just continue with the show then.
Uh, yeah.
Guys, we're still live.
Okay, we're still live.
Yes.
Kyle, if you can set up on the podcast, that'd be fine. Just so we can keep going. Once we drop out of live, Kevin, let us know when we go off the air so Kyle can invite us. So besides this little setback here, why in God's name did Bruno Paulista play?
I
Right?
have
I mean,
no clue.
no offense to the guy, but he, out of like 7 preseason games, he played 45 minutes of the last one, and he gets called up to this game and actually plays. I mean, what's up with Baldios? I mean, what would he think seeing this?
I don't know what to tell you. Well, wait, did you just mention Podence or?
Yeah, Baldios, because he was the first guy that came to my mind because he started every single match.
Yeah, but Police does a a central midfielder and put
I
them through the
know
winger.
it was a
So
it was just me pointing out the fact that he played every single match and wasn't called up, and probably should play 45 minutes and was called up. Not the positions where they play.
yeah, I don't really know what JJ's thinking because I mean, if he's not going to play him in preseason, why play him in a competitive game? It just doesn't make much sense to me. But I mean, he only played 2 minutes or something like that, 5 minutes maybe. So it doesn't really matter that much. I guess he just wanted to get a little bit of burn for the guy. I guess I don't really know what to tell you. But you know, we should have loaned him out and kept Polina. But that's just my opinion.
Hmm. Uh, I don't really have a lot more on Sporting. Just what do you think of the game against Passos that's coming up this week?
I expect nothing but 3 points.
Mm. Okay, short and quick, just how I like them. Uh, is there anything you want to say, Alex, on Sporting or?
Um, I just want to say that I'm excited to see Slimani's debut for this league, for this league season. And the deal's still on the table, Slimani. If you stay, I will name my first 6 kids after you. All right?
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh God! All right, moving on to Benfica then. Benfica played Tondela. They won 2-0. Lisandro and Andre Horta were the goal scorers. Júlio César was in goals. Middle, Luizão and Lindelof and Grimaldo across the back. Feza and Horta in the midfield. Pizzi, Servi wide. Gedge and Mitroglou up front. Without any further ado, Kyle, what did you think of the game?
Uh, I think it was a decent game from both sides, just like the Porto and Rio Ave game. I think that Tondela started off well, putting in some chances, and like there was like a chance. I'm not sure if it was one of the first chances of the game, but it was when the player had that breakaway, but Grimaldo made that huge tackle, and it
Mm-hmm.
was it was amazing. But then after they had a couple more chances, but then Pizzi had that free kick, and Lisandro was on the end. Well, Luizon got subbed off because what was this? What was he injured because of his arm, or was it like he's
No,
tired?
it was his leg. I think Rui Vitória used the persistent pain. That's what he called it. Persistent pain. I'm not sure where it
Oh,
was. I believe it was in his leg. Just something that kept bugging him, and to not make it
yeah.
worse, and we're back on live finally. Jesus, took a while. Listen up, guys. You're gonna be seeing this video as a separate one if you are viewing us live, but I'll be taking these down once I upload the full episode later on tonight. So listen up. We were talking Benfica, obviously the best thing that we can discuss. Kyle was just asking me about Luizon's injury, and I was saying that he had a persistent pain. At least that was what Rui Vitória was calling it.
Yeah, and Kevin
Um,
wanted to say something about the game too.
I wasn't still done. I mean, I didn't even give up my. I was giving out my opinion to you guys. You heard that, but it
Yeah,
didn't
go
on the
ahead.
pod.
Finish up what you guys wanted to say, and then when you're done, I'll give my input on this because I wanted to say something about it.
Okay, I wanted to give props to Tondela for playing really, really well. It was a back and forth game, many chances for both teams. Tondela had the first chance of the game 50 seconds in. Benfica hit back with Mitroglou. Then they hit us back with a cross that was met with a great header. I can't believe they didn't score that. Then, as you've said, Grimaldo, Kyle with that great challenge.
Yeah.
And then Wilson got subbed off. Pizzi whipped in a cross. I mean, they were very aggressive. Mitroglou was getting fouled a lot. He got fouled one more time, and it was enough for us to take the advantage and score. The second half was a little bit more controlled by Benfica, but still with a lot of chances for Tondela, especially. And then Andre Horta kept it off with a tremendous goal, going by 3 players and putting into the back of the net to end the discomfort we were feeling. Kevin, you wanted to have thoughts on the game?
Yeah. First of all, I want to start off with Tondela. Credit to them. They played a fantastic game against you guys. Too bad they didn't bury any of their chances because it would have made for a very, very interesting and open game. Um, I do have to point out that Horta goal at the end of the game. That was a fantastic goal. I'll give credit where it's due. I don't care what team you play for. That was a great goal. Just the way he moved around the defenders and just the finish was just fantastic. And these guys have a gem there with Horta. I think still too early to tell, but I really do think these guys have a great player in Horta, and I think that's going to be a great signing for you guys, honestly. And I got to give credit to you guys for even signing him. And I haven't heard much of him besides being for Stubel, which they were fighting for relegation. So, um, congratulations to these guys for signing another great player. These guys
Yeah,
have been doing some great appearances.
Kevin, he's a Benfica product, right?
So was he
He
signed?
came, he came down from the ranks with Gedge. The Benfica tweeted a picture of him and Gedge about like 10 years ago when they were kids at the Benfica ranks, and then he left and joined Stubble for a year, and then we signed him back.
All right, but he was actually like their player. He wasn't out on loan
Yeah,
to Stubble, right?
yeah, he was a Stubble player. Unlike João Mário that was out on loan, André Horta was actually sold.
Well, in any case, these guys do have a great player. Great replacement for Renato. So I gotta applaud you guys for that. I have to point that out. I was actually amazed by the goal. And I know that to some people it's not that great of a goal, but just the way he moved around the defenders, like just to finish and the power in the shot was just. I thought it was a fantastic goal.
And Kevin, what I was telling you about is that every team needs these type of players that feel the club, and it's obviously noticeable that Horta feels the club. It's
Yeah,
important to have those type of players. His long balls as well. I wanted to touch upon that. He made 40-yard passes look easy. Uh,
Yeah,
Kyle, did you notice that?
yeah, those are insane. Every time he touches the ball, he thinks about where he's gonna pass it before he makes the pass, and then it's just magic after that. They're so long and they're like perfect passes. Like it goes to the player every time.
Pinpoint passes.
Yep.
Um, yeah. His passes are like telecomandados, as the commentator kept saying, because he just went right into the player, like he had a remote controlling it. Um, Kevin, did you watch the game then, or what happened? Did you watch bits and pieces of it?
I just watched the highlights because the game wasn't
Okay.
available anywhere here in the States besides
Yeah.
just Porto was on and Sport. I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. Mhm. Um. So, Kyle, Catch went out wide and PZ played as a second striker. What did you think of that? I mean, he wasn't his typical 8 role that was out for Horta. What did you think of PZ as a second striker? Is he a more viable option than Getch?
Uh, I personally I don't really like him there. I'd rather Gedge play there, but he didn't play awful there. It wasn't like he was doing that bad, but I'd still rather Gedge play as striker and Peasy's uh way better as a winger in my opinion.
So who should replace Janusz?
Where should we play Janish?
No, who should replace Janusz?
Oh, I think Gedge is the perfect replacement. Although I personally think Jimenez should like at least get a game in.
No,
N-
no,
No,
no.
I think Jimenez because I saw apparently today they played a game.
Yeah,
Both
I'm gonna
together.
point that out. I'm gonna point that out. They played Masama. Actually, fun trivia about Peter here. Um, my godparents live there, so quite funny. Benfica played Masama 1-3-1. Jimenez with 2 goals. That's what you were gonna point out. And
Yeah,
Zivkovic played as well, but
yes, he's back.
mhm. So the only reason why I don't think Raul should play is how am I supposed to put this? I don't
So
think he
you
plays
like,
well with Mitroglou. So basically,
but that's 22 million or whatever the
he's
price was on the bench.
more of a super sub though. Every time he played last year starting, besides Astana and Bayern, he did nothing.
I don't know. Well, if you're not gonna, he's not gonna do good. He's not gonna be a better player if he's just sitting on the bench the whole time. Like you should get
Uh,
some games and improve.
all right. Why can't we have Kevin's input on this, Kevin? Would you start Mitroglou right next to Gedge? Sorry, Mitroglou right next to Raul.
Uh, That's a good question. It would add more firepower to you guys, but who you guys gonna replace on the field? Who comes off for?
Catch.
Oh, Gedge comes off.
Hmm.
Oof. I don't know. Maybe I would go with Jimenez and Mitroglou up front. Honestly, you got more threat up front.
But
Yeah,
there's no actual replacement for genres though.
That's true too. So until he gets back, you're gonna have to put Gedge with Mitroglou.
Okay, yeah, I think so too because as always the biggest chalkboard in the universe, Steve, back at the Benfica podcast said that Benfica were going to play some short neat passes. And it was actually true. I was watching a review of a game. I don't think it was the Tondela one, but it still applies to that one, where you see three Benfica players right next to each other in the midfield, and normally one of those players was Jonas. And if we don't have that guy that falls back into the midfield to start up the plays or make those neat passes to the other guys, I mean, it was Benfica was out on a lot of their football. So I think it goes down to preface as well.
yeah,
But Getch seems to be turning around his form again. He seems to be doing well.
yeah. And it also comes down to because Rui Vitoria's philosophy, I guess, where it's or I guess Luis Felipe Vieira's, where now Benfica is developing their youth players, so it
Hmm.
would be ideal to play Gedge instead of Jimenez because Gedge is young and they can develop him and he can become a great player in the future. Whereas
Yeah,
Jimenez is like 25 or 24 and
24,
he can't
25. Yeah.
yeah, he can improve, but it's not as Gedge. Like Gedge can really improve because he's very young and we can also convert him to a striker because he's not is he he's I don't think he's a natural striker, he's a natural winger, so
No, yeah, but I also don't think he should be a natural winger because of the way he plays. See, the thing that I have with Gedge, and I'm not sure if both of you agree with me because obviously, Kevin, we always want your input on this. I think that Gedge can't make those typical winger runs where they run with the ball for about 30 yards. I don't think he can do that. I think he's too sloppy on the ball and always ends up losing it. So him playing as a striker would help him out a lot because all he has to do is shoot, make diagonal plays, neat passes, and that's it. He doesn't have to carry the ball.
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
I
agree with
agree.
you that there. Yeah, you're right, Peter.
All right, Kyle, you agree too?
Yeah.
All right. So the thing that Alex was waiting for and is not here for it, which makes buttloads of sense. Luzon, Luzon going off to Wolverhampton. Um, I'm gonna take this approach just like Kevin did a while ago with Elton. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Elton is still under contract with Porto. I'm not sure if you people knew that. Now you do. Uh, and when we were discussing Elton possibly going to Sporting, Kevin was saying, "Yo, he can go. I mean, there's nothing more he can give us." And as much as I would love and I want to see Wilson retire at Benfica, if we can get money for him and he accepts and gladly goes there, I don't see why not. I mean, there's nothing else he can give us. For 12 years, he was one of our best players. The last two, already counting this one, he probably won't be as big as of a player that he was. So uh, I mean, I don't think he has anything to give us, to be honest. I mean, his last game against Tondela, he was looking a little bit shaky. I was actually glad he came off again because just like my dad said last year when he got injured against Sporting, this might be a blessing in disguise. He said it, and it didn't ended up being true. I mean, Lisandro came on, then got injured, but Lindelof also managed to pick up his form and start for Benfica. I think honestly, Lindelof, Jardel, and Lisandro, Lisandro is fourth option. So I wouldn't be against him leaving. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see him end his career at Benfica, but even I think this is almost guaranteed. Even if he doesn't end up Benfica, he's gonna have a manager role or a scout role or any type of role at Benfica. I don't think he's ever gonna leave. What are you guys' opinion on this?
You can go
Um,
first, Kyle.
all right. Well, I think Louison. There's no point of him if he doesn't start. There's no point of him just sitting on the bench the season. Well, he'll play like games in the Tassa and everything, but I don't think that he would want that. So I think it would be better for him to go to Wolves and get the money. And if, like you said, if he accepts it too and he wants to, then it's perfect. And it's also good for us because he's not really, in my opinion, just like what you said, Jardel and Lindelof, they're all better than Louison right now. So it's better for him too because he'll be playing and we also get money for him too. So it's a good deal in my opinion. But I'm not saying I want him to leave. Like I'm not saying like it's like a Talisca where I'm really for the move, but I get like it's good for Benfica and Louison too, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say like how I said with Elton, Louis was with you guys for a really long time. What was it? 12 years was it?
Yeah, 14 years. I was
14
talking
years. I'm sorry.
the 12 years that he was actually a key player. That's why I cut back those 2 years. He's been in Benfica for 14.
Okay, so this is my take on it. With Helton, he gave us a lot of great years. Always will appreciate him. He was a great goalkeeper. Um, everybody's gonna get old. Everybody's gonna retire. Um, and when I said he can go to Sporting, because he gave all he can give, and he's not gonna make them any better, which is the truth. But you don't want to see that. But I mean, what's what's it going to benefit anybody else? Obviously, Louis Zahn was a lot younger than Helton, but I think that the best these guys can do, and I'm sure every Benfica fan out there, especially the ones listening, will appreciate everything he did for you guys. Um, I can appreciate how he made the Portuguese league better. Great
Hmm.
defender, even in the European, like the Champions League, he scored some headers. He played well against. I remember a game against Chelsea. He ended up scoring on a header. Stuff like
Juventus,
that.
Tottenham.
Yeah, and even me not being a Benfica fan, I sometimes watch the games when I can when they're in Europe. Um,
Hmm.
Stuff like that, like it sticks with you, even though you're not a fan, because those are symbolic moments in a game. And when he played against Chelsea, that one game that I can remember, he scored on a header. I can't remember if they won, but
I think
he
Chelsea won 3-1, I believe, that game, with
I
Romero
know
scoring a great goal. I mean,
I
I'm
know
not sure if it
Benfica
was the
was home.
first leg or okay, Benfica was home. Then I believe Chelsea still won or Benfica won 1-0. I can't remember.
It
Sorry.
might have been 1-0 Benfica or 1-1 with Chelsea. I'm sure if Timmy was here, he'd probably know. Uh, he knows all that stuff. But yeah, he did what he could for you guys, and he really was a player that really did love the club. So I would appreciate not appreciate, but I would like to see you guys do something for him. Um, and I'm sure that'll happen. These guys would do something like that, you know, um, to give
I
like a send
mean,
off match if he gets sold. You know what I mean?
I, I mean, we were the first ones to give out a statue to a living person. I mean, that's not common to see, with the Eusebio and then the Eusebio Cup. I think that was a tremendous move by us, honoring a living legend. Unlike most people end up cheering for someone after they die.
Yeah,
So I think he's gonna get a sending off match if he does leave. I mean, next year or something like that. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. And Benfica is known for doing things like that. When Ferrer died, they did a lot. They donated a statue to the parents. I think they even made one in gold. Um, and for a couple of years, every time they played a game in Ange, I always brought like a wreath and always
yeah.
in his memory. So these guys are known for that. I got to tip my hat off to you guys. Not every club does that. Uh, I know Porto doesn't really do that. They only had one send-off match that I can remember with Deco. I don't know if they did any back in the day for Bahia or anybody else, but I know they did one over the last couple of years with Deco, which he deserves it. But um,
Hmm.
legends for a club, they should always be. They'll always recognize. They always will be. But to have a special thing for them, like even if it's a ceremony, even if you don't have a send-off match, just something to show that you appreciated all the years that they put into the team, all the sweat, the tears, the emotion, and everything they gave for the club. So I'm sure they will do that, and um, I would be happy if you guys did that for them. Honestly, I like to see things like that, regardless of what club it is. And Casillas didn't get it at Real Madrid, I don't think.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think he
no, he
did.
didn't. He left on
Just
a
had a
sour
press
note.
conference. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a press conference, and that's sad. It shouldn't have to be that way because he
Hmm.
was there his whole career. So
Yeah.
you know, it's stuff like that that really gets me. But Louison was a great defender, and if he does end up leaving to Wolves or he retires, thank him for all the years that he made our league better, and best of luck in the future.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this, right? I mean, we pretty much covered that. If he goes, he goes. I mean, obviously I don't want him to, but if he accepts, it's because he also doesn't mind it. I mean, we're thinking about this in also we can also think about it this in a different perspective. It's his last chance to try out a different league. He's been in the Portuguese league for 14 years. Maybe for his last year he wants to go away, like Eusebio went to the US and Mexico for his last couple of years, you know. So maybe Wizon is also thinking about that. Maybe I can go to the Premier League. Why not? Maybe Wolves can get promoted and I'll have one last year at the Premier League.
Yeah, and like I said before to you guys in our private messages, there, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Hmm.
Fans might not like what the team will do, even if they didn't give him a send-off or anything to recognize him and they just sold him. At the end of the day, you got to remember that it is a business. And
We
Louis
do
was
what's
going to
best
move
for
on with
the.
his life. Yeah, exactly. Do what's best for the club. The club's going to
Hmm.
move on. Louis is going to move on. It obviously hurts the players. I'm not saying that they're not going to, like, it's not going to bother them, which it does that many years. But at the end of the day, we all got to remember it's a business.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't think there's any more transfers. I mean, there's the Talisca rumors. I think he's gonna end up going somewhere. I'm not really sure where, but he's gonna end up going. Kyle, also to point out on the Melly thing that we were talking about, I just saw on my ball that he was just registered. So there you go. He wasn't registered at the time. Uh, but I think transfers and stuff. I think that's about it. So we're moving on to the last thing, Benfica related, and then we got two questions. One from Alex. Yeah, because Alex sent in the question, and Neil a funny one too. But previewing the Stubble game. I'll start on this one. Why not? I think it's gonna be a difficult game. They just won 2-0 against Belenenses, although a penalty wasn't really a penalty, but I mean, overall they played well. It's Cruzeiro, and Cruzeiro did well with them 2 years ago. So I'm expecting a very difficult Stubble side. Obviously, I would love to smash them 5-0, but I think that's gonna be almost impossible. If you get a win, I'll be happy. That's all that matters. Going into that match day 3 with 6 points is exactly what we need because we know surely Porto or Sporting are gonna drop points. It's crucial to get those 6 points right now, isn't it, Kyle?
Yes, it is.
So what do you think
Um,
is going to happen in the
well,
game?
uh, hopefully it will be a win and we'll get those 6 points. But I think Andre Horta will be a key factor in the game because he played for Stubble last season,
Hmm.
and he knows how the team rolls and everything, and he can give some insight on the team,
And
like for us.
we also played them in preseason, which was interesting. So we have a decent idea of what they're going
Yeah.
to put up against us. But yeah, that's pretty much it on Benfica. Now on to the question Neil asked: where's the Egyptian Benfica killer Shikabala? uh, Neil Sikabal is like in fucking Egypt. I don't know. I think he moved there from Sporting. I'm not sure. And then Alex asked, and I just thought of something that I'm gonna have to point out in a second. Alex asked who looked the best out of the big three in week 1. I honestly thought that Sporting looked the most comfortable, but I also think it was because Marítimo, besides those 2-3 chances that they had of scoring, they really do much to threaten them. So I think they had the easiest match. So I'm going with Sporting. What do you guys think, Kevin?
The team that looked the best out of all three.
Mm-hmm. For match day 1.
Um, geez, I can't really answer for Benfica because I didn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
But from the highlights that I saw, I would rule them out. Uh, my honest opinion is I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I would think that Porto looked the best. They were away to Rio Ave. Sporting was home to Marítimo, and that's what I'm taking into consideration, and that's why I'm going to pick Porto as the best looking team for week 1 out of the big three.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Kyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Kevin here. Porto, they did look better than Benfica and Sporting this jornada, and like they scored more, and like what Kevin said, they were away, and they scored more goals. They scored three, but they did have that one goal let in. Their only problem for me with Porto, it seems their defense, but
It's
the
still
rest,
shaky here.
yeah, the rest they seem pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So I was gonna end it on this, but I remember that I tweeted out to you guys, and no one came back to me. That Sporting, and we're moving on to Sporting. We're all over the place, but this is just gonna take a few minutes anyway. Sporting wants to offer, or they basically are offering Wallison to Fulham because they didn't pay the 1.3 million euros for the Brian Ruiz transfer.
For the Brian Ruiz transfer that lost them the
Bruno
title.
Carvalho,
Well,
Carvalho's doing a great job.
1.3 million, and they haven't been able to pay that.
That's incredible.
Just, there's
That's
there's
Sporting
something
for you.
wrong. There's something wrong over there. I mean, Bruno Carvalho saying that everything's fine. We don't have to sell any players. Is total bullcrap because Jesus Christ. But yeah. I mean, it's obviously just a rumor. We don't know if it's true that they didn't pay the 1.3 million, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Um, and I wanted to point that out. And the last thing is that the same newspaper that reported that they still haven't paid the debt is that are also willing to let go of 8 players. And one of them really jumps out to me, and I'm gonna ask you guys' opinion on him real quick. So, but the players are Everton, Paulo Oliveira, Jefferson, Carlos Manes, Gaio, Aquilani, Yuri Medeiros, and Matheus Pereira. Most of them don't surprise me, but guys, Paulo Oliveira, who wouldn't take him at their club? Kevin, would you take Paulo Oliveira in your club?
Of course I would. He's a great defender. I'm actually surprised at that he's on that list.
It makes no sense, right? Because with Rui Vitória, which was one of the best, then Mark Silva snatched him up to Sporting, and everybody was sad because he was a good player. Uh, can you guys think of any reason why Jorge Jesus would get rid of Paulo Oliveira? I mean, my dad obviously said since day one that he wasn't gonna stay. I mean, props to him if he does go because my dad said so. He said he's not gonna stay, and it looks like he won't. But can you guys put your fingers on this, on why this is happening?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
It's Jorge Jesus being Jorge Jesus. That's all I can
exactly.
say.
I was just about to say that. But I also think
Yeah,
uh not Jorge Jesus, Sporting have a lot of center backs this season. Like they got Coates, they got Ayrton, Naldo, uh
I have the list right here. Hold on, I can tell you. Hold on, just a moment. Who do they have? Sporting. Where the hell is Sporting? There it is. They got Coates, Medo, Naldo, Paulo Oliveira, Everton.
and I'm pretty sure that isn't Petrovic a center back?
He's
Oh,
a
it's just DM then, right?
defensive midfielder. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Coates, Medo, Naldo, Paulo Oliveira, and Everton. So those are 5 center backs.
But I'm just guessing that I don't know, maybe they don't see anything in Paulo Oliveira right now, so he's on a loan list, right?
Loan or transfer. I mean, Sporting. I think
Oh,
Sporting would rather sell him than loan him out. Makes no sense because he's a great
really?
player. Mm-hmm.
That is weird, but I
I
guess
mean,
they're going. I
even
guess they
said it
prefer the
last
center
week.
backs they have than
Yeah, I
Paulo
mean,
Oliveira.
it's just stupid. I'm gonna end this in a few, but this is just something that surprised me because Coates is on a loan deal, so he's not a permanent Sporting player. Everton
That's
is
true.
always injured. Naldo also has been injured, so that leaves you with actual Sporting center backs with Semedo, Paulo Oliveira, and who am I missing? Who am I missing?
Ishgaio.
Smith? No, no,
Oh,
no.
isn't
Yeah,
he right
no.
back?
It's actually just it. Yeah, Smith and Paul Oliveira are the only actual decent center backs they got because Coates is on loan. Everton's always injured, so he's off Sporting's list, and then Naldo has been injured for a while now. So he leaves you with Smith and Paul Oliveira, and as actual decent center backs, and I don't know why they want to get rid of their number one center back. At least in my opinion, what should be their number one center back? Is it the Portuguese thing, guys? Do you honestly think that it's the Portuguese thing, or
It could be, but I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on in George Jesus' head, to be honest.
yeah, because he's not short. He's actually tall. He's fast. He was seen as one of the most promising center backs, and I remember last year. Obviously, we weren't doing the podcast at the time, but Alex told me that Paulo Oliveira had the potential to meet Jardel's potential or even get better
Yeah,
than him. And I agree that he could get better than Jardel, but out of the sudden, he's gone. I mean, he did get injured. He was playing at first, but then he got injured, and now he's just off Sporting's list. But yeah, it's just weird.
yeah, it's weird.
All right, but Kevin, do you want to add anything? You want to say anything before we get off the air?
Yes, I just want to do a rundown of the scores of the first jornada. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Rio Ave 1, Porto 3, Moreirense 1, Paço Ferreira 1, Sporting 2, Marítimo 0, Tondela 0, Benfica 2, Boa Vista 2, Oreca 0, Vitória de Setúbal 2, Belenenses 0, Vitória de Guimarães 0, Braga 1, Estoril 0, Feirense 2, and game delayed from Madeira Nacional versus Chaves. I think that's going to be played in September because of the
Mm-hmm.
fires.
Yeah, it's gonna be played on early September, right before the national team break. So we'll be back next week to review. We should be back on Tuesday, but we might be back on Wednesday if everybody agrees. But we'll discuss that on time because we might just make it through Porto's two legs of Champions League football because their next game is on Tuesday. They play tomorrow. 7:45 local, 7654322 Eastern Standard. But yeah, we're gonna be covering Porto's games, the Roma one and the Estoril one. We're gonna be covering Sporting's match against Paços Ferreira, and Benfica versus Setúbal. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next week.
Take it
See you
easy.
guys.
Ciao.